Okay, so um, hello everyone. I'm Sanjay Gupta. I welcome you on Sanjay Gupta Tech School, and I have Abhishek with me. So welcome Abhishek on the channel. So we have one more session on Salesforce OmniStudio Bootcamp, and this is the last session for data raptor scenarios. So this is session number 5, and along with this session, like if you go through all 5 sessions, so one by one, like you will be able to implement all the scenarios that you understood as a concept in OmniStudio Bootcamp Season 1, right? So if you have followed all those sessions, and if you follow these sessions, then like theoretically and practically, you will become expert in OmniStudio. Okay, so with this note, I want Abhishek to introduce himself, and then we will start the session.
Yeah. So, hey everyone, I hope you all are doing well. So, myself, Abhishek, and I'm working as a Salesforce Velocity developer in this community since 5+ years now. And I have done some certification around Velocity as well as the Salesforce. So, some Velocity certifications are like, or Salesforce Industries certifications like OmniStudio Developer Industry CPQ, and also I have one health insurance quoting developer certification as well, and some certification I have done around Salesforce as well, and I'm a trailer double star ranger as well. So yeah, that's all about me.
Okay, so uh, after this, like if you want to follow a Telegram group where lots of folks are already connected, so you can scan this QR code, and here you can find more than 4,000 folks who are preparing for Salesforce or maybe already working in some organization. And along with that, like if you want to share any feedback or review, so you can share in the comment section. Okay, so with this, we can start with the scenario implementation. So in previous session, we understood like how we can apply insert operation using data raptor load. So today you will learn how we can do update and upsert operations. Okay,
Yeah.
so I think we can start.
Sure, Sanjay. Thank you. So, as Sanjay mentioned in the previous session, for data raptor load or data raptor post, we have covered all the scenarios for insert operation. In today's session, we're gonna see some implementations around update scenarios and upsert scenario, where we will be updating a single object record as well as the uh, related objects as well, and also how we can upsert into the data raptor load. There are various techniques and tricks by that we can upsert any record. So let's just jump onto the practical part. And first example that we'll execute is updating an account record with the help of data raptor load. So okay, we're gonna create a record where we'll say, sorry, we're gonna create a data raptor, and it would be like data raptor load for update account records. Is it called? And save it. So if you are following all the sessions, first step that we need to do is we have to select the object, which object you want to update. And in the fields section, you have to give the domain object field mappings. So let's say I want to update the account active field, okay? And it will be mapped with active. And as we all know, whenever we want to update any record into the Salesforce, we have to pass the ID field mapping for it. So, like if you are not passing the ID field, and if you want to try to update any record, then it would be not possible, because if we do not have any ID, we cannot update any record.
Yeah,
So
in that case, I think that record will be inserted instead updating, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Yes. So, I mean, what we're gonna do is we're gonna create one more mapping for ACC ID, and it would be mapped with the ID field. So, as an input for this data raptor, we have to pass ACC active and ACC ID. Okay. And if I go to preview, let's say first is active, where we're gonna say, let's say I want to update the value to yes. Second is ACC ID, and ID we're gonna copy it from the any account record. Let's say I'm gonna update this account. Sorry, this is taking some time. So what we can do instead here, we'll go to developer console and run a query. Okay, it got opened. Okay. So from the URL, we can get the ID of the record. And if we see the active field for this account, right now this is blank. So after our data raptor execution, it should get updated with a yes value. And if I click execute, and if I go back to account, and I'll refresh this record. So yes, we can see that the active field is got updated with the yes value. Right?
Yeah, right.
So
Yeah, this was single record update, right?
right. So for example, let's say if you want to update multiple account records at the same time, that also we can do. So first of all, what we're gonna do is we're gonna get all the from this data raptor, we're gonna get the account records with their IDs as well.
So guys, this is
So
data
it
raptor
would-
extract. So what Abhishek
Yeah.
is doing, he is basically running a data raptor extract so that we can have some JSON created, and that JSON he will be using for data raptor load.
Correct. So, and if I'll say, I'm gonna fetch the mapping for active field as well. So ACC list active. So that we will be knowing that what right now what value these records contain. So like no, and so yeah, I mean like there is only one record for that active is yes. So I'm gonna copy this, and if I go here, and I'm gonna paste this all the JSON data over here, and now we have to update the mappings into the field tab because the JSON format changed now. So now what we're gonna say here is ACC list :active, and for the ID, what we have to do is ACC list :ID. And if I go to preview, so as we can, okay, active is coming into the active __ C. So we have to create this map. And ID is into the ID. And if I click execute, it will update all the accounts. And if I go back to the data raptor extract and click execute, oh, okay. Let's check into the, oh, okay. Because what happened, the values are here, I mean, like whatever value we are passing from the preview tab, that will show into the, I mean, like that will all, that is the values that gonna get updated, right? So we are passing no. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change the all values to yes. So, so this is the part. I mean, like these sort of data we always get from either from OmniScript or FlexCards. But right now we are just testing the data raptor. That is why we are doing it manually. And now if you click and execute,
So one question, Abhishek, can't we modify in this input block manually?
yeah, we can do that.
Okay.
But I mean, like, I prefer JSON block because it's kind of easier
Easy.
UI.
Right. But we can do from this input block as well.
Yeah, definitely. And now if I go to preview and click execute, all active should be yes. Right. So this is the one for when you want to update bulk records in a single transaction. And now if we go to the third and fourth scenario, which is kind of similar to each other, we want to update the related records as well. So for that, what we can do is, again, we're gonna get one data raptor extract from which we can get the data for related records. And
Yeah, I think number 4, like contact records. Yeah, this
one.
Parent to child.
Yeah, child to parent. Yeah, it would work. I mean,
okay.
Anything.
But child to parent, we won't be okay. Yeah, that also, like account name we can modify.
Right. So if I click execute here,
yeah, it is giving. So we can apply some filter like account ID not null.
I think there is some contact. Okay. So it's, sorry, my bad. It should be add a filter.
Yeah.
And condition where account ID not equals to it should work with this. Yeah. So these all accounts we got. And also we can do one thing. In the output mapping, we can get the contact ID as well. So that if we want to update contacts, we can do that as well. Contact :ID. Execute. Okay. So as part of output, what we are receiving here, account name, account ID, contact last name, and the contact ID. So I'm going to copy this one and I'll go to the save.
Yeah, now whatever we modify in this output, that will be like in this data raptor load, whatever we modify in this JSON, it will reflect in the org, right?
Right. So for updating the related record, we're going to create one more add object step. And let's say now my output is like, it's kind of like that. So for example, let's say I want to update. So what I'm going to do, Sanjay, I'm going to just remove some records from here.
Right. We can focus on specific ones.
Yeah. So for these two records, what I'm going to do here, or let's say.
Maybe you can add something in the account name.
Yeah. So here we have two accounts where first is this, and I'm going to add the test for account name. And for the contact last name, I'm going to do, let's say, test con. Okay.
I think one extra these two curly brace is there, line number 9, if you see.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And
so we are updating account name and last name.
Yeah, account name and the last name, right. And if I go to preview, I'm going to paste it over here. So again, we have to update the mappings. So for the account, what we have to do here is account name, and all data is coming into the contact node. Contact : account name. And it should get updated with the name. And for the ID, what we have to do is again, contact colon I. So I think it's account ID, right? Account ID. And into the contact one, first of all, we're gonna create the mapping for ID. And the other one is for the last name.
So total 4 mappings will be required.
Yeah. Last name. So what will happen? I mean, like in this array, we have two objects. So this will execute twice, and separately it will execute the account and all the contact for each. So as we can see, 2 contacts and 2 account has been updated. And if I go to again this data raptor, and if I click on execute, so this edge communication become test. Oh, my bad. Execute. Yeah. So this edge communication become test, and this other one is also became test. And if you can see, this Rogers became the test con, and for this one as well, the mapping have been updated to test con.
Right. Yeah, I think it is very simple. We can have JSON, and if in JSON we modify some data. So this we are doing for testing purpose. In real time,
Right.
In data raptor load, data will be coming from either IP, OmniScript, or FlexCard, and that will be in
Right.
JSON format. So whatever data we will be having, basis on that it will work. Okay.
So, I mean, kind of we have covered these 4 scenarios for the update,
Right.
where we have just hard coded the ID field for all the records, and we are updating the records. Now, let's say I don't have the ID field. I mean, this is not possible. This is not possible into the Apex, the functionality which I'm gonna explain now. But it is possible into the data raptor. And how it is possible? It's so we're gonna create another data raptor.
Before that, Abhishek, I have one more question in my mind.
Yeah.
So we are putting JSON in the input. So when we will be receiving input from IP, OmniScript, so do we need any input parameter kind of thing that we implement in extract or turbo extract in data raptor load, like key value pair we need to create, or we will just expect the JSON whatever mapping we are creating?
So if I mean, like, answer to your question, Sanjay, would be like, so for example, here we have created
Yeah,
this map,
this
contact
mapping.
colon account ID.
Right.
Right.
So my
So
question is, if I have a JSON where ID, name, and any other field is also included, so what will happen? How it will work?
ID, okay, other than this ID and name,
I'm passing a JSON where
then
3 fields are available, 2 are this, and 1 is other than this.
so there will be no impact if you are not creating the mapping of it. It will do nothing.
Okay, it will be ignored. So whatever mapping
Yeah.
we are having here, those will be impacted only.
Correct.
Okay, and if you go to preview once,
Mhm.
okay, so here we don't have any key value pair mapping. It is totally dependent on the JSON input.
Right.
Okay.
So whenever we will be creating, I mean, like, we will be using this data raptor into the IP or OmniScript, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we have to pass the data in this format only.
Right.
Otherwise, if you pass the data in some other format, then you have to edit the data raptor according to that format so that it would be compatible.
Right. Understood.
Yeah. So, yeah. So coming back to the absurd scenario, where there is a new feature that have been introduced by data raptor load, where, let's say, for example, in your input JSON, you don't have the ID field. Okay. You don't have any ID field in your input JSON, but still you want to update the data. And for example, let's say I want to update the data if I found the similar name. So for example, I don't have this ID field, but I have this account name. And according to that account name, what I want to do is I want to update the name of this account basis on this account name. If I will be able to find any account with this name, then it should get updated. And if I'm not able to find any sort of account with this name, then it should get inserted automatically.
Okay. So instead of
So
ID,
that sort of
yeah, other than ID, we are picking any other field.
right. So that sort of functionality is available into the data adapter load. So if we see the example for this one, so let's say I'm gonna call it data adapter absurd account. Account.
So
And
basically, the functionality which you are going to explain, it is not available in Apex. It is only available
no,
in Data Raptor. Yeah, this
I mean,
OmniStudio.
I mean, like what we can do is, I mean, we can build some logic into the Apex for achieving this sort of functionality, but that would be a custom solution. Out of the box functionality is only available into the data wrap.
Right.
So here I'm gonna say from the data raptor input, I will not pass any sort of ID for this account. Okay. And let's say I want to update the active field for this account, edge communications test. Yes. And I'm gonna remove this one because we don't need it. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna open this account and see the actual value for active right now. What is it? I'm gonna go to accounts. Now this one. And for the active, right now we have done yes value. So from the data raptor, we're gonna update it to no. And now the question arises, if we do not have the ID field into the input parameter, how we can update? So
Yeah.
the technique or the trick is you go to your mappings, create the mapping for your account. Account name, and here it would be name. And there is a checkbox called absurd key.
Okay.
If you check this checkbox, okay, so what will happen? Data Raptor will first try and find an account with the name of this edge communications test. If Data Raptor will be able to find the account with this name, then it will update that account. And if Data Raptor will not be able to find the account with this name, then Data Raptor will create the account with this name.
Right.
So at the backend, kind of there are two things are happening. This data raptor load is executing a data raptor extract first, then it is executing the data raptor load. I mean, like we haven't created any sort of data raptor extract for this one, but at the backend for this data raptor load, this is happening. So I'm gonna create the mapping for this one as well. And
And I think we enabled that checkbox, so I can see a symbol here. Yeah.
This one. And there is one more thing. Okay, first we'll execute this one, then we'll see that. And if I go to Edge Communications and refresh it, we can see it's a no now.
Okay.
So let me go here. And also you can see into the debug logs as well. It has executed a query first. I mean, like if you do a normal data raptor load for the update or insert, there will be no queries. But as soon as you check this checkbox, the data raptor will execute the query first and will try to get the ID for it at the backend.
Okay.
Okay. So, and there is one more checkbox for this upsert thing is required for upsert. So, for example, let's say if I have selected this checkbox as well, now what will happen if I will I will not pass this mapping into the input parameter, then upsert will never happen.
Okay. So,
Although we have the account with this name, but upsert will never happen. It will always insert.
okay. Yeah. So
So
it
this is
is, yeah, it is required. So it should be there in the JSON.
correct. And there is another functionality for this upsert thing. I mean, like right now we have checked this checkbox only for one mapping. If you will select any other mapping also for and check this checkbox upsert key, then it will create a combination of those two mappings and will try to find a unique account with this combination.
Okay. So account name and this active, if both are same,
Then
if
only it will upsert, otherwise it will insert.
okay.
Right?
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, like this will be a bit confusing when you will see the session, but if you try to practice yourself, then it will make sense to you. So now we have the last scenario for the data raptor load, which is upsert using the lookup. Upsert using a is lookup. So when you are upserting an account or when you are upserting any sort of record, so first feature we have seen with the ID field, you can update. With this checkbox, you can upsert. There is another feature also called which is called as is lookup. And what does that mean? So let's say, um, for example, okay, I want to update the contact as well. So give me a second. Hmm. I'm gonna make it to this to contact, and in the field parameters, remove all the mappings, and in the preview we're gonna copy this, pass all of this, and let's say I have this and I have this. So basically, you can assume that you want to update the contact record, but you don't have the account ID, and also you don't have the contact ID. Okay. So in that case, what we can do? So for example, now I want to update the last name to testcon1 for this contact. So what I can do over here is I'll go to fields. First of all, I'm going to create the mapping for last name for obvious reasons. And after that, I'm going to create a mapping for getting the contact ID. So here, what I'm going to say is, okay. So first of all, I'm going to check this checkbox is lookup. So what it will do is, what I'm going to do is like with this account name, I'm going to get the record ID of contact. And how it will happen? So in this account name, what I want to do here is, okay, sorry, not is lookup. Here I'm gonna say okay, contact. Which lookup field you want to check is account dot name, and which field you want to get the ID. So okay, it would be a bit confusing, but now what will happen? this account name will get passed to this mapping, which is account name, and then it will execute a query where the query would be like it would be like this: select ID from contact where account dot name is equals to
The name which is available
account,
in the JSON.
the name which we are passing.
Hmm.
So this is lookup is gonna query this one. We are passing the account name and we are querying the contact ID with the help of this account.
Mhm.
And whatever field we are getting as a output of this query, we are mapping with the domain object group.
Okay.
And if I go and execute it, it won't. And why is that?
Yeah, in select it is duplicate record.
No, I think duplicate records. So
You need to
let
change
me
the
delete
name.
one.
Hmm. Or maybe we can pick any other account record.
Yeah, that also we can do, but let's just do this once. But I have only one record. Okay. Just give me a second. Related IDs. Oh, okay. On this account, I have two contacts actually.
Okay. So
So-
through contact it is searching multiple times.
Right. So let's say I'm gonna delete this contact for just now. Okay. This is associated with the case. This is also. And now we're gonna delete this Sean Forbes. And if I go here and I execute it now, the contact has been updated. And if I go here and if I refresh this, so the last name is got updated with the test con one.
Right. But it is a little bit tricky.
Yeah. So you just need to understand the concept of inner query. That's all.
Yeah.
So basically, I mean, like whatever input you are getting, you are passing, you are kind of searching and record with the help of that input.
Right. So object can be anything, so it should be related to that. So okay. So
So
through
basically, what is happening, Sanjay, here is when we use the is absurd key, right?
Mhm.
So finding the ID value, data raptor was doing is
Auto-
his job,
right,
its
yeah,
job, right?
automatically. Now we are doing it
Now,
manually.
now we are doing that job. So that's the only difference.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's the last scenario for today's session.
Okay, yeah, I think it was good, and I think now we have 5 sessions where we just focus on the scenario implementation, so it will really help folks. Those like in previous season, we explained very less scenarios. Now in this season, we explained all the scenarios, so I think it will
Yeah.
brush up their knowledge and it will help experienced folks as well, those who want to like work in industry cloud area, because OmniStudio
Correct.
is demanding there. Okay, so yeah, so guys, if you are following all the sessions, please share a review or feedback. And sometimes, like I take a screenshot and I share with Abhishek as well, so that he can feel some motivation. And
Yeah.
yeah, along with these sessions, like we are doing some in-person trainings also. So like here we are explaining things, but there might be chances like you are not getting things. So in SGTS like job readiness training program, Omni Studio is part, right? So there like Abhishek is partnering me, so he's also delivering those sessions along with me. So They are like we are guiding you if you are having any questions. So immediately we help you to resolve those questions. So if you are good in self learning, so I think these sessions are enough for you. But if you need some mentor who can guide you, then you can join those job readiness training programs. Okay, so thank you, Abhishek, for delivering the session. And next week I think we can focus on IP, and after that
Yeah.
we can do some projects. Okay, so this is it for today. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.